welcome back to another Film Geek movie review. In just a moment, I am headed out the door to check out the new movie in the Paddington series, Paddington in Peru. This is the third film in the series. And also, I didn't think that, Aunt Lucy would approve of my beer drinking during my reviews, so I decided to have a spot of tea instead. Earl Grey. Hot. Paddington in Peru is directed by Dougal Wilson, and it's starring Hugh Bonneville, Emily Mortimer, and Ben Whishaw as the voice of Paddington. This tells the story of Paddington Bear going to his homeland of Peru to visit his beloved Aunt Lucy in the retired bears home, or the home for retired bears, I apologize. And of course, while they're there, an adventure ensues, because that's just what happens in Paddington stories. They always start off with something very mild and normal, and then of course, adventure ensues. And I am a big Paddington fan. I grew up with Paddington Bear. I remember way back in my early childhood, I used to watch Paddington shorts, I believe they were just like little shorts. It was on a TV show called Romper Room, and then later on Nickelodeon on the TV show Pinwheel, I believe. And I really enjoyed it. I always loved Paddington. He was such a nice little bear, and he also had such great lessons that we could all live by. When I was growing up, my mother and grandmother installed a ton of good manners and politeness in me. It was a really big deal in our family to have good manners and to always be polite, much like Paddington. Because when you have good manners and you live with kindness in your heart, everything is going to turn out all right. Well, you know what, folks? It's enough of me sitting here jibber-jabbering on. Oh, one more thing before I take off. I am happy to say that I have got my first popcorn bucket from AMC of the year. They were able to get me one of the Paddington Bear CRVs, or as I like to call them, the popcorn vessels. So we'll have one of those at the end of the review that I'm going to be going over. So enough of me sitting here jibber-jabbering on. It's time for me to head out the door, because it's time for me to go see Paddington Bear, because, being late for something is just bad manners. Welcome back. Just getting home from Paddington in Peru. And guys, I really enjoyed this movie. I thought this film was absolutely adorable and a really great film for families to get together and check out. So let's get this started, shall we? Now, generally, I do negatives and positives, but to be perfectly honest, guys, there's nothing really negative about this film whatsoever. I will say mixed, though. I do have some things, because the other two films, in all honesty, I did enjoy those movies more. Not that this is a bad movie by any means. I just enjoyed the humor and all in the first two films a bit more than this film. This movie actually has more of a childish silliness, I guess you could say, to it, than more of a wit and whimsy. The first two films have kind of a 50-50 blend in the humor category. You get about 50% that the kids are going to enjoy and about 50% that the adults are going to enjoy. And I don't mean like mature jokes for adults. I mean jokes that might have something to do with something going on in culture at the time, or maybe a historical event, something the kids won't necessarily be privy to. But then it also had a good 50% of slapstick silliness that the kids are also going to enjoy. This film, however, I feel like the comedy was definitely toned down a bit more for a younger audience. It does dive more into the silliness and the slapsticky. There is some of that really good dry British wit in this film also, but not as much as I noticed from the last two films. All in all, though, this is still a very solid film, and even though there may not be as many jokes for the adults do get a little something else in this film, and that is a really nice, solid emotional core. So let's move into the positive, shall we? Let's start with the special effects, the CGI, because Paddington is a CGI model, and he looks excellent. Each one of these films has taken a very good model for Paddington, but each time he has gotten better. His look has evolved in each one of the films to where he looks great. The other effects in this film were very solid. All of the CGI models for bears and whatnot land. They look very good and like solid real things. The animation department did an excellent job with our CGI in this film. The story itself is great. I really enjoyed the story. I thought it was cool that each one of these Paddington movies has kind of a different vibe. The first film, of course, is more of an origin story, sets the groundwork, lets you know what's going on. The second film, they dive into crime caper. And in this movie, they go into a treasure hunting Indiana Jones style film. And I really enjoyed the vibe of this movie. I thought this is really where this movie is going to progress at this point. Now, let's talk about that emotional core. This film does such a great job of delivering a message of moving on. Not just for the children who are getting older and who are about to move out of the house, because the Brown family is dealing with that. The two children are getting older. They're starting to take on bigger, more mature interests. The oldest, the daughter, is about ready to go into university, and the son is trying to figure out what he's going to do with the rest of his life. So there's a lot of choices in front of both of these kids, and the parents, of course, are supporting and they're there behind the kids, but they're dealing with their own feelings about them moving on and whether or not they're still going to be a part of their child's life once they move to that next step. And I think that's where this movie shines for parents, is preparing you for that ultimate time when those kiddos spread their wings and fly away from the nest. And speaking as someone who's been there, it is hard. And I think that this film did an excellent job of showing you that life goes on and everything's going to be okay, even though things have changed and we're moving to that next step in life. So I like the fact that there's this great solid message for the kiddos and the parents alike, because they're both dealing with things that are different but the same at the same time at that point in their existence. All in all, guys, I think that this movie was absolutely charming, super fun, and a great film for the family to get together and go see. And I mean everybody in the family, grandma, grandpa, on down to the family dog and cat. Pack them up, take them to the local cinema, Cinemaplex, AMC, what have you, and enjoy a really fun, all-around family matinee and have a great time. And that, folks, ends this entire review of Paddington in Peru. This is a solid get out there, see it in theaters, take in the spectacle of this film, because like I did say, the cinematography is beautiful. Filming in Peru or Colombia, wherever this film was made, looks beautiful. They really used the foliage and everything to its advantage. All in all, solid movie. Get out there, check this film out in theaters. So saith the Film Geek. Now we're gonna move into the other fun portion of this review, the popcorn vessel. Let's see, now this one's a little bit different than just being one of their popcorn vessels. It also came with a cup, a collectible cup with cup toppers. So here it is. It's the Paddington. Whoop, there we go. He's shiny because it's metal. It's the Paddington's suitcase. So we got Paddington on the front, and here on the back, whoop, we got more Paddington. He's got his hat, the famous Paddington hat. And so this is a metal box, okay? And this is great because this is just like a lunch box. Like back in the day, the old lunch boxes I used to have as a kid, the one that you can like end a fight with real quick on the bus, if you know what I mean. That's the kind of thing we're dealing with here. And there's also nice little things that are from the movie, like there's the Peru stamp right there, and then you also have a llama off there that comes up later in the film. So all in all, it's got a really nice look to it, but it's really the fact that this is a solid metal box. This is a lunch pail, basically. So, your kids, once they're done using this for their popcorn, you can use it to do whatever. Put those little Lego minifigs in this thing. I know the kids freaking love those minifigs. Fill this sucker up with Legos. My daughter, she loved putting her hair ties in boxes like this. We went to an antique mall once, and she bought like an old Care Bear lunchbox. I probably still have it around here somewhere. But here's the other fun that comes with this. Now, this set, it is a set. This is $24.99. All right, you get the vessel, and you also get inside here you get the cup, the Paddington official cup. Look at that, isn't that nice? And again, that's that nice, solid plastic. This is gonna probably get you some good use, you know? I mean, that's nice and solid. It doesn't feel like one I would put in the dishwasher, though. I think this is not gonna be something, if you put this in the dishwasher, I think it's gonna fade off old Paddington there, and we don't want that. We want Paddington to stay on there. So I would just go ahead and give the advice of not dishwasher safe. So moving on, we also got some other fun doodads here. We have little toppers that come with it. Now, I don't know if you get both toppers when you get this. I think you just choose which topper you want. So here's our first one. We have just Paddington waving. He's like, hey, what's up, guys? I'm Paddington Bear. Or not Paddington, just Paddington. Paddington Brown, to be exact. Bear is just the fact that he is a bear. There we go. There's a little topper, a little straw side right there, so the kiddos can sit in the movie, drink their drink, enjoy this. And guys, to be perfectly honest with you, this is actually a fairly decent deal when it comes to something like this, because this whole set right here is $24.99. You get the drink, you get the small drink, you get a regular sized popcorn, and you get all these fun things. And this is great. Look at that little Paddington sitting there on his little suitcase. Isn't that wonderful, people? Oh my goodness. Look at that. That's so cute. It was just sitting on top there. Got a little Paddington cup. But yeah, this is $24.99. $24.99. And when you buy this, and look inside, marmalade. Yes, have yourself a delicious marmalade sandwich. Oh yes. You know that. You always keep your emergency marmalade sandwich underneath your hat or in your official CRV from AMC theaters. I really like this, guys. Okay, so $24.99 is how much this costs. You do get the popcorn. You get a small popcorn. You get a small drink. $24.99. And in all honesty, guys, I did the numbers. It is going to cost you about $15 to get just the drink and the popcorn. $15. $10 more, you get this fun stuff. The kiddo gets to go home happy. Maybe you got two kids. You got one gets a drink, one gets a cool little thing. I mean, all in all, guys, one more is there, right? This is fun. So here you go. I guess that's all I have to show for you guys when it comes to the Paddington CRV. And it's just, honestly, I wish there was a way I could get you guys to feel this, because it feels quality. All right, you're just gonna have to trust me on this one. It feels like they actually put some work into this. This isn't just thrown together like just some cheap little crappy thing that they're like, it's for kids, take it. This is gonna get you some years. This is gonna get you some miles, and you know, have some fun storing stuff in it or whatever. All right, guys. Well, that's all I have for you today. Thanks again for checking out the Film Geek. If you liked what you saw here today, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Ring that bell for notifications and give me the old thumbs up so I know you like what you're seeing. And if there's one more thing you can do, folks, that is keep watching movies. You know I'm gonna. I see you stuck around again. Good thing, because you know what? Stick around for the credit scene. There's a little bonus for you at the end of this film. Have a good night, folks.